Are we live?
We are live. Welcome everybody to this spooky edition of Verbose Mode. Time to take that off. Whew.
It looks so uncomfortable.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable. Verbose Mode brought to you by TuxCare. We are here at Magnolia Conf in Jackson, Mississippi at the Mississippi Museum of Art. I have my buddy, Josh Goldberg here. He just gave a talk. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I got some questions that I'm going to ask you and everybody that's here. But before we start that, let everybody know a little bit about you.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I'm Josh. I'm an open source maintainer. I'm independent. It means I bump around the ecosystem working on projects I think are useful. A lot of my work is on linting, like an ESLint and TypeScript ESLint, and on like templates and tooling, like create TypeScript app. So I'm just kind of happy to talk about programming and things that make it easier.
You are amazing. You are amazing. Josh has a book, and I found that book. I think I tweeted this to you 2 years ago. I found that book in the local library of mine, and I checked it out. But I checked out a bunch of books. I'm really bad at reading. I mean, I can read.
You can read.
I can read, but I'm really bad at reading.
Okay.
Books physically. So like I have a bunch of books, and I never read them. But that's awesome that you've written a book. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Thank you. Yeah, Learning TypeScript. It's through O'Reilly. It's not that long of a read. Every chapter, I always forget if it starts or ends with a haiku or starts with a pun about the contents. I try to make it very approachable. It takes you from, I don't know what TypeScript is, I've written JavaScript and that's it, to I can do a lot of the core stuff and some of the more fancy schmancy things in the type system. And like understanding like why is it doing these things? How does it think about my code? So yeah.
That is awesome. How do I get a signed copy?
Bring it to me at a conference and tell me a TypeScript pun.
So can I buy it from O'Reilly, or would you suggest Amazon, or is there like an affiliate link?
Yeah, if you go to learningtypescript.com, it's got links for everything. I'd say buying it. O'Reilly doesn't sell books directly that I know of.
I know they don't. They used to. They used to have an online store years and years ago.
But yeah, buying it on whatever platform you want to, of course, rate it whatever you think is appropriate.
Yeah.
And put a very verbose review on that.
Verbose.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Everybody out there.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
That is awesome. So, is this your first Magnolia Conf?
It is my first time in this great state of Mississippi.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If you get a chance to talk to Kayla and Richard about the history of this event, it used to be Magnolia JS, and JC Hyatt kind of created it. And I spoke here a couple years ago, same venue, amazing community event that's very, very intimate. Yeah. And then we kind of, well, not we, but Kayla and Richard kind of skipped last year and then brought it back this year because people were wanting to come back. So that is awesome. So your talk, what was your talk about? I know it was TypeScript. Yes. I was popping in and out, getting stuff ready, but what was that all about?
It was entitled, Why is TypeScript Like This? Going through a lot of the common annoyances and feelings of, I'm working with TypeScript, it's giving me the white squigglies, it's blocking my build, what is it doing, why is it doing that? And kind of showing people, like, depending on what your code is meant to be, here's how to tell TypeScript to shut up or to work the way you want it to.
So for people that are new to TypeScript, that are coming from just strictly the JavaScript side, what is like the TLDR of TypeScript?
Great question. TypeScript gives you two things. It gives you a nice set of syntax to explain what your code is supposed to do, the intent behind the code. And it gives you something called a type checker, which looks at your code and at that new syntax and lets you know if the way you've used things doesn't match, doesn't align with that intent. And then those, I don't think you're doing it right, moments come across as like little red squigglies in your editor or build failures in CI.
If someone wanted to get started with TypeScript, I know like a lot of the now like the frameworks, you can choose whether you want to use TypeScript, JavaScript, JSX, TSX. If someone wanted to get more, because I've messed around with TypeScript a little bit. I've built an application that's uses the TSX, I don't know, I forgot the word I'm looking for. The file structure, TypeScript, like JSX. If someone wanted to get started with TypeScript, what would you suggest as their kind of foot in the door? If they're brand new to it and they kind of really love JavaScript?
Well, obviously buy my book. But before you do that, my actual first recommendation is go to TypeScriptLang.org. It's free. It's actually open source. The website has lots of kind of curated guides for how to get started if you're, say, a JavaScript developer or C# developer or any other common archetype. It explains what the language is, why it does things the way it does, how to get started with the tool. If you want to get deeper, obviously I recommend the book, but there are a lot of, depending on how you learn, there are courses online you can take, like Total TypeScript is fantastic too. And above all else, do projects. Get actual experience, not just theoretical learnings. Like, I personally write Connect 4 whenever I learn a new language. I know a lot of people do like a to-do app. Whatever it is, get your hands in there, get dirty with TypeScript. That's the real way to learn.
So so TypeScript is a typed JavaScript language, right? It's a superset, right,
Yes.
of JavaScript. Did that come out of the .NET C# Microsoft world? Like how did that happen? Because I know a lot of .NET developers that cannot stand JavaScript, but
Yeah.
they will write TypeScript all day long.
It's funny. There are a lot of people who see TypeScript coming from Microsoft and coming in large part from the leadership of the guy, Anders Hallsberg, who did the same thing with C#. And they have conflicting opinions. Some people really love that, as you just described, and some people think, oh my god, it's Microsoft, and therefore it's going to be object-oriented C#. I hate this. It's neither. TypeScript is a way of modeling and understanding and validating good JavaScript. If you write good JavaScript, like JavaScript that's idiomatic, that doesn't do weird, wacky stuff, TypeScript should let you do that. Whether you're writing functional programming, you're one of those wacky people, or you're writing traditional classes, it should be there for you. That being said, to actually answer the question, yeah, it came out of Microsoft because Microsoft was writing thousands, tens of thousands, larger lines or files, code bases in JavaScript, and it just was not scaling. So they added this in, but really tried to make it a good programming language for the community, not just specific to the way Microsoft does things.
That is awesome. It's a whole other world.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, it is a whole other world. Because you were talking about, squigglies and errors and how you get these things in TypeScript even though the language wasn't supposed to do that. So I could see where that could bring on a lot of headache, and people like myself would just want to switch back to just the JavaScript. But I mean, it's kind of a learn as you go acquired taste, and you just kind of push through it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very flexible. If you don't want constant squigglies, you can run TypeScript in the very lenient actual default mode, which allows you to do all sorts of stuff that normally would give squigglies. You can have any's, the unsafe, let me do whatever I want type, all over the place, and it's totally okay with it. But once you start writing TypeScript, you tend to get spoiled. When you don't use any, when you use actual types, oh, it's so nice. It knows what I'm doing. It gives me tools to rename or refactor. I want that. And then, fast forward a couple of years, you look at people using any, and you get this, this guttural no, because it's a better world.
Yeah. Yeah, the some of the stuff that I've worked on, like I built an app it uses Next, and it uses Mongo, and it uses cloud infrastructure. Currently, right now, I'm using Mongo Atlas to deploy, because Atlas lets you choose GCP, Azure, AWS, and you can use those for free, opposed to having to pay for it, which is really, really sweet. Like if you get a chance to talk to Jesse Hall about it, Jesse is a staff developer advocate. I don't know if you've ever met Jesse before.
Yeah.
Jesse's a staff developer advocate at Mongo, and I told him, I said, hey, I need to pull this off of the current infrastructure that it's on, but I need something to do it with. Like, what do you suggest? He's like, dude, just use Atlas. I was like, but I can use Atlas for free, like cloud services? He's like, yeah. He's like, and just deploy it to Vercel or Netlify. So I just did that. I switched everything over. I deployed it to Netlify, and my app works. And it's an app, and it's a talk I do on deploying UFO data to the cloud.
Okay.
And like I said, it uses Next, it uses Compass to consume the data, and then it uses MongoDB Atlas, and it works flawlessly, and it lists sightings and abductions, and you can add stuff in the database, and you can search, and it filters. It's pretty sweet, so that's awesome. Let's flip the script a little bit here. What do you love most about your job?
And job with quotes around it.
Yeah, job,
Yeah.
job with quotes around it.
I like being able to do stuff that benefits the community for the sake of benefiting the community.
I love that answer.
When you work for a company, it's the company's motivations, which sometimes align with that. But for me, I will find a bug in, let's say, Next.js, and I'll go fix the bug in Next.js, or in TypeScript, or in ESLint, or React. Or I'll write a tool that does a thing that I think is useful, not because my company needs it, but because I think this is broadly applicable to everyone. I'll write a new ESLint plugin because, this class of errors could be caught for everyone. And I feel like I'm a part of the dev world.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
That's awesome. Last question. I got two more questions for you, but last one. What is your favorite childhood Halloween costume?
Oh man, when I was a kid, I was an annoying little turd, and I always wanted to maximize scariness. So they weren't great costumes. It was just generic whatever the Halloween store had. But I remember I once got this like little plastic heart you could squeeze that had like the blood.
Oh, the tubes?
And it would go into the mask, and I was the coolest dude ever.
Yeah.
I was impressed with myself.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great costume. I think they still sell that. Like, if you go to Spirit Halloween, I know they had like the ghost face, and it had that. We're gonna wrap up. Anything that you want to plug?
Oh, create TypeScript app. Oh, you can hear him starting. Yeah, create TypeScript app. You want a new TypeScript app? You don't want to set up ESLint and Prettier and VTest and all that stuff? Create TypeScript app. NPX it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Josh. We are going to have more of these today. Stay tuned. Verbose Mode, brought to you by Tux Care at Magnolia Conf in Jackson, Mississippi. We are going to be out in 3, 2, 1.